All right, y'all, what's going on, man? So we got another big prediction. I'm going to go through all of these games here in just a second, but I want to narrow down Notre Dame at Navy and the potential that this has of an upset. This is a huge game, but we're going to go through the set, the full slate, and get my predictions and featured matchups and what I think of what's going to happen. Now, before we do that, though, let's break down this Navy versus Notre Dame matchup. It's a pivotal game for both teams, right? This hinges on a playoff chance potentially for Notre Dame. If you're Navy, you have everything in front. Even if you lose, you still can potentially contend with the American Athletic Championship, who, you'll play your arch rival, Army, potentially later down in the season, who both are undefeated right now in conference play. I said region, I meant conference play. But nonetheless, a huge game. And I think two very similar teams. When you look at what Notre Dame wants to do, what Navy wants to do, they both want to run the football, right? They will play smash mouth football. Both of their quarterbacks, man, are great in terms of running. We look at Riley Leonard, right? Doesn't have the most gaudy numbers this season as far as throwing the ball, but he's running at an alarming rate, right? When I say alarming, like he's punishing teams. Like you go back and look at the Georgia Tech game. He had 2 touchdowns in that one early, was cooking. And that allows them, they have such a good running back in Jeremiah Love, who you see right here to my left, where defenses are going to, key in on him. So then that leaves him open for the QB powers and the RPOs. And if you're not ready and you're not disciplined and watch your tape, he's going to exploit you. So that's the key. And Leonard can do that, and he did it against Georgia Tech last weekend. So, for Notre Dame too, they have an elite defense. Like we got to be honest with that. Now, obviously, Tech was able to get some yards passing, but they shut down their running game again. Only 60 yards rushing, 64 yards, I believe, to be exact. So they could take away your strength. And this defense plays some good football. They had a pick 6 last week. Xavier Watts had an interception. Like, this team is really good defensively. So they don't ask Leonard to do too much. Just manage the game, manage the offense, lean on the rushing attack. When it's there, throw your shot plays. Now, the key in this game, and what I noticed last week, is that you got to get their ball carriers and their receivers on the ground. They exploited Georgia Tech in the first half with that. Bo Collins and things like that. Love, you got to get them on the ground. If you don't, they're going to exploit you with their yak yardage. They did it against Tech. So that's going to be kind of pivotal in this game, to wrap up, play good football, and make. You really want to make Riley Leonard beat you with his arm. Now, I'm not saying he can't. You know what I'm saying? But we have not seen it a lot this year. And the passing game isn't what I don't think everybody expected. So that's a part of the struggle. They want to run the football. If you can take away one of those aspects and you make it tough and you can kind of pressure Leonard a little bit, you do have a good chance. Now, when we break down Navy, same sort of thing Notre Dame has, right? You look at Blake Horvath, who's having a great year. 888 yards passing, right? Running the ball. Look at these running numbers. 621 yards rushing, 7.9 yards per carry, and 10 touchdowns. And then when you look at the passing game, they have Eli Heidenreich right here, who's having a great year, man. 400-plus yards receiving this year, depending on target for Blake Horvath. So this Navy team is a lot better than people think, and I know they're ranked. I know they're number 24, but I got this one on upset alert. I think they can do it. I think they can run the ball, and that's going to be key because Notre Dame is taking that away from teams, right? They're not allowing you to rush on them. They're not allowing you to get going offensively. They're making it tough for you, and that defense can really play some good complementary football and special teams wise as well. But the key is, I know they've been dealing with a kicker that's been hurt for Notre Dame, so they've had a backup kicker. I'm not sure if their kicker is back as well, but special teams is going to be a key component of this game. If Navy can get like a punt return, kickoff return for touchdown, a blocked field goal, something, they can get an extra possession and steal it from Notre Dame. That can help them as well. But I think when you look at Navy's defense, I think they're going to be ready. I think they're going to take away the running game. I think they're going to make it tough for Jeremiah Love and Riley Leonard. And I think they're going to be ready to play. This game is at home. I'm sure they're going to have a packed-out full crowd to watch them play. And this is the best team they've had in years, probably even decades, if we're being honest. So when I look at it, I think they're going to be able to win. And I'm going to go in Navy with an upset. Now, it's not going to be easy. As you guys can see, they're only giving a 9% chance for them to win. But I like it because so of all teams, right? Some teams run spread offenses. Some teams run a traditional running offense. They usually run a traditional running offense, but they can also throw it. And I think for 4 quarters, you're going to have to wrap up and tackle those Navy players, right? And I think, in my humble opinion, I think Notre Dame's defense is ready. But I think with what they have to face in practice every day, trying to tackle Horvath and trying to tackle those ball carriers every single day in practice, I think they're going to be ready to go at it with Notre Dame. And I think they're going to kind of expose some of those weaknesses that they have, in my humble opinion, which is, in the passing game a little bit. So I think they're going to play smash mouth football. I think they're going to dominate the time of possession. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're going to be wrapping up. And I think they're going to kind of lean on Notre Dame's defense a little bit more. And I don't think they're going to go away from the game plan, even if it's not working initially. I think Navy's going to continue to run the football, let that open up the passing attack, and they're going to take their shots when they can. And I think that's a lot to ask on the road in that game. So I know Notre Dame's a -14 spread to win. I'm going with upset, man. I think Navy's going to be able to pull this out, shot the country, and we're going to start having more conversations about them potentially in the college football playoff. I really do after this game. And no disrespect to Notre Dame. Got a great coach in Marcus Freeman, but I think it's going to be a tough test on the road, and I think Navy's going to be prepared for it, and they pull off the upset. But y'all comment below. Who you taking, Navy or Notre Dame?